Hi there. If you're starting to watch, we will start in just a minute. I am running late today, so I feel like it has been a crazy week, but I'm sure you guys have had busy weeks also. So tonight we are going to be looking at some of the new online exclusives that just released this past week. And so I want to show you some of the new paper and a couple of the new stamp sets, as well as some of the dies that are super pretty. At the end, I'm going to also show you my card club for the month of March, and you have until the 15th to sign up for that. If you are interested in that, or if you want to just purchase this one kit without subscribing, you can go to my website at inkycreationsbylinda.com, and you can get information on that on the page that says Monthly Card Club. In addition to that, March is my birthday month, and so it's a nice month for all of us to get to celebrate. So if you place an order this month of $75 or more, you will get a couple of things. I have several celebration items that I emailed out a photo of yesterday. I don't have those in front of me at the moment, but I know the beautiful butterflies is part of it, the alphabet a la mode, the two DSPs, the fruit salad and the toadstools, and I don't remember what else. Oh, some of the little embellishments. So if you place an order of $50 or it was either 50 or 60, it might be $60 or more with me, then I will let you pick which of those items you would like to have, and I will include that with your card kit. Because in order to get the card kit that we're going to be making tonight, you just need to place an order of $35 or more by Tuesday, March 11th, using this host code, and then you will receive a card kit to make these cards. So I will go over these specials again at the end, but just to give you a sneak peek, here are the cards for the card club this month. So it's using the Ocean Friends bundle, and I think these just came out super fun and really pretty. And then this one is a shaker card, which is always fun. So if you are interested in this, you can go to my website, to the inkycreationsbylinda.com, and go to Monthly Card Club, and you will see a link there to set up a subscription if you're interested in that. There is a $25 gift of your choice after 6 consecutive months being in the club. Or you can do a one-time purchase if you do not want to set up a subscription. So the adhesive bundle that I am giving for orders of $75 or more include a cute little bag with mini glue dots, and these are my favorite adhesives, so I decided that I would just include these in your kit. Multi-purpose glue and the small mini Stampin dimensionals. So if your order is $75 or more, you will get this in addition to the card kit, and I'll let you pick out a celebration item. So this is definitely the month to place an order if you are looking to do that, and you can get a lot of free stuff, which is always nice. Let me show you some of the sets. Tonight we're going to be using the Thankful Garden paper, which is super pretty, and I'll show you more of it as we're going along. We will only be using the part of the stamp set that is this big flower with some blends, and it comes out really pretty. But in addition to that, we're going to be using this one called Fancy Borders, and you will see on the cards that we're doing, we're using the dies that are on here. So these are really kind of fun. Let me turn it this way so you can see it. But it has this heart at the bottom. It has this scalloped edge. And then it has this like smaller scalloped edge that's super cute. And we use all 3 of these on our cards tonight. I didn't use these yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that. And also, there are some really cute stamps if you want to, and we will be using the stamps that are on here. The Sent with Love, Just Because, and a little hello with a lot of love. That's kind of a nice little saying. And then the other thing that is new in our online exclusive is a set. It's a bundle called Textured Notes. But let me show you the dies that come with this. These are fantastic. It's all of these rectangles, which is super nice. Now that we have lost our deckled rectangles, it's really kind of nice to get something like this. And I love all the different edges. And so we are using a little bit of this tonight on one of the cards. So you will get to see that as well. So let's go ahead and get started on our cards. And I will show you more of the paper as we go along out of this beautiful set. Okay, so the first card that we're going to be making has a white cardstock base, and it is 8.5 by 5.5. I've got some extra hearts in here, and these are what punch out whenever you use that border punch that has the Tammy, I'll be going over all of that stuff at the end, so you'll be able to see it then. Thank you for being here. But here, I'll show you actually, I'll have to show you once we get going. So, because one of the papers is going to use that. So, so the first thing that we have, this is just a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then in addition to that, what I did after I scored it is I used the dies from the Fancy Borders set. It is from this bundle. And I used the die that is the scalloped edge, and I did a little scalloped edge right here. So I just thought that was really pretty and something a little kind of unique. So we are going to use that on our card. So what we are going to do, you're going to have a piece of Melon Mambo that is, let me give you the measurements. It is 3 by 5 1/4. And then you'll have a piece of DSP that is 2 3/4 by 5. And we are going to layer this and adhere it and then glue it onto our card. I think the colors in this are just so pretty. And I love the way they have the black outline in there in different, places, because it works really well with black. And we're actually going to be using the black and the, what's it called? Let me make sure I don't mess up the name. Black and Very Vanilla ribbon with this, the checked ribbon, because it just goes really well with the colors in this. So I'm just going to adhere this flat. And then we are going to adhere this onto our card base. Okay. And I want to get it, I don't want to bring it all the way down to the bottom because I'm actually going to put some of the ribbon down here. So I want it to be a little higher so that I have room for my ribbon. So let's put some glue on here. Whenever we get to the end, if you're still here, I would love for you to comment and tell me which one of these is your favorite new item, or if there's something else that you've seen in the new online exclusives that you like even better. That oftentimes gives me ideas of what to do going forward, but if you want to put that, that would be great. All right, so then we are going to adhere this ribbon straight, whoops, let me move this up, straight across here. And I am going to use just a little bit of tear-in tape to kind of tuck this down. And then we're going to cover it up on the back side. So let's see, we'll put a little bit right here. Just want to make sure I don't overlap my Melon Mambo there. And I will put another little bit right here. And this is just to kind of hold it down, and then we'll secure it on the back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and peel off this side, this first side. Okay, if I can get this to come off. There we go. All right, and then I'm just going to leave a little bit of a tail because I don't want it to be super, what's the word? I'm going to work this underneath the Melon Mambo just a tad so that it is kind of not coming down and covering up our scalloped edge. There we go. We'll just kind of... It's one nice thing about not putting your adhesive all... Actually, I don't really like that. Tell you what, we're just going to make it go right to the bottom of the Melon Mambo. So let's go like this. There we go. And then we will cut just a little bit of a tail on this one, and then we will adhere this on the back. So then what I'm going to do now is take my tear and tape and put a little bit of the tear and tape back here so that I can kind of hold this down. And then it'll also get held down because we're going to actually put a piece of cardstock back here. We don't usually do that, but in this case, I don't know, I wanted to cover up these ends, and so, and they had this cute border with the hearts on it, and I felt like it went really well with the message of the cards, so that's what we're going to do. And then you can always trim this if you don't want this to be this long, because like I don't really want all that excess. So I'm just going to trim this a little bit if I can get my snips to trim it correctly. There we go. We'll do the same thing here. Okie doke. So then let's decorate the front, and then we'll go and we'll do the inside. Okay, so here's our front so far. And what we are going to do is you will have a pretty and pink die cut that was cut with the Nested Essentials. And we are going to stamp Sent with Love in Melon Mambo. Okay, so here's our stamp. And you can tell I've already used this quite a bit. So it's already stained. It just means it's well loved. So we're going to stamp this. I think this is one of my favorite colors, this Melon Mambo. It's just, I don't know, to me it's just kind of pretty. Kind of screams spring, which is always nice this time of year. Although it's quite warm today here. All right, so then I'm going to use dimensionals and just put this kind of in the center of my card, but put it up at an angle. So let me grab some dimensionals. Here we go, one of my big ones. So I'm just going to throw a few of these on here. I'm trying to make sure I stay where you guys can see me, because I feel like I keep pulling everything out of the window. Timmy, I saw your comment that you have this paper. I really like this paper. I did get the bundle. We're not really going to be using the stamp set part of it tonight, but I love the paper. I just think the paper is really pretty. And I actually have been working on my swaps for on stage next week, and I made a swap with this. So next week, next Friday, while I am gone, I am going to pre-record a video so that you guys will have it. And I'm going to show you the little 3D projects that I'm making for the people that are on our team that are going to onstage. Because we all make gifts for each other, which is really fun. And so, anyway, I'll show you those next week. I'll upload a video. I'll schedule it to upload at 5:30 next Friday so that you can see it at the normal time. All right, so then we're just going to tie a bow with our black and vanilla checked ribbon. And just make a normal bow. It doesn't have to be super big. And mine never come out as good on the video as they do when I'm just sitting here working on them. I always feel like they're a little just different looking. All right, so let's go ahead and trim the edge of this. And then we will trim the other end in a second. And I'm going to use a mini glue dot. As you can tell, I go through a lot of mini glue dots. Hence the reason that that's part of my birthday special this month. So I will tell you more about that again at the end. But like I said earlier, this is the month. If you want to place an order, that you can get a lot of free items with your orders, because I don't know, I feel like if I have to get older, we all get to celebrate. So, you know, it's just part of it. Okay, so you will have a piece of designer series paper. This is another part of the Thankful Garden designer series paper pack that's really pretty. And so we are going to adhere this. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We're just going to adhere this to the inside of your card. So let me glue that down. And then we are going to have this piece of Melon Mambo that is kind of fun. And so we are going to take this. I love the little heart cutouts. Isn't that just super fun? And we are actually going to put this up here to kind of cover the edges of our black and white ribbon. And then that way, you know, it looks like we planned it that way. So I am going to just put some adhesive on the back right here. I didn't want to use dimensionals on this because I just really didn't want to fluff it up even more than it already was. So that is why I chose to just do it this way. So then that way it kind of covers up, you know, your edges, but yet, and it gives you a little bit of a decorative border. And then you'll have a piece of basic white, which is 2 3/4 by 4 inches. And we are going to stamp just a little bit on it. So let me grab, there's this really cute stamp that is a part of the Fancy Borders set. You can see it right here, but I just think it's really cute. And so we're going to stamp this in the corners of our white cardstock. And then we are going to use some of the hearts that were cut out whenever we cut this piece, and we are going to use them also to decorate. So let's see, let's just put one up here in the corner right here, and then we'll put another one over here. I just think this is kind of a sweet card. Kind of reminds me of a little girl, and something that, you know, little girls really like, which is always fun. So we are going to go ahead and adhere this kind of to the center of our card. You want to make sure that you get it up high enough that it doesn't show through here, but it looks like we're good to go. So let me put some adhesive on this. The paper that I put on the inside, it's the same set, Tammy, as the rest of it. It's the Thankful Garden. It's part of this set. So, oh, I'm sorry, it's called Lovely Garden. I keep saying Thankful. The Thankful part is what the stamp set is called. So, all right, so I'm just going to adhere this kind of to the center and press it down. And then we'll take 2 of these hearts and put a mini glue dot on the back of them. Sure. And then we will just kind of push them into the bottom corners of our, whoops, looks like my mini glue dot is trying to peek out. There we go. That's a little better. Put them in the bottom corner. And I mean, like in this case, you know, you have quite a few of these, so you can always save them and use them on other projects. So I will give you a hint for my project that I'm doing for my team. Well, no, I'm actually not going to, because sometimes some of them watch and I don't want them to see. So I'm just not going to say anything. You'll get to see it next week. So then the dimensionals that we're using on these, the ones that they have that go with this set are a Starburst set. Let me grab them and I'll show them to you. Where are they at? Here we go. They're really pretty, but I don't know. They're fresh freesia, the crushed curry, and then the white. And I think they're pretty, but for what I was doing, I wanted something with more the black emphasis. So what I did was I pulled out some of these Adhesive Backed Sparkle Gems. And I really like these because they have lots of glitter and they're fun. And you've got the silver, the black, and then the champagne color. So you could use any of these with this, but we're going to primarily use the black ones just because I felt like it really kind of matched this and brought out the black. So let's throw a few of these on here. And I'm just going to put maybe a big one right here. We'll just do, I'm not going to do a lot, but just a couple, just to kind of give us some sparkle. And then maybe one over here. So there we go. So here is card number 1. And I just love this edge. I just think it's really pretty and it's easy to do with those dies. It's just pretty simple, which is always nice. So there's card number 1. So let's get card number 2, which uses another one of the papers in that Lovely Garden set. And I think this paper is so pretty. And I'm not usually super fond of a lot of greens, but I really like this. I thought this just came out super cute. So this is a black card base. And again, it's just your standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I took a piece of basic white and I embossed this with the Distress Tile embossing folder. And this is 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to adhere this to our card base. Sometimes I feel like I need to put a little bit of extra glue on something whenever it's embossed, just to make sure it really adheres correctly. You know, I used to always use Stampin' Seal, and I use it some still, but just not as much as I used to. So, all right. So then you're going to have this piece of garden green. And don't you just love these edges? Again, I got these with that die. So what I did is I cut my paper to 3 by 5 1/4. Let me grab the die and I'll show you what I did. Once it was cut as a straight edge, I just took this die and I made sure it was facing in the direction that I wanted, and then I just laid it on the edge of the page and ran it through the die cutting machine. And this is the edge that I got. So it really was not super time consuming, but it really comes out with a really pretty border for you, which is kind of fun. So we're going to take, so this was 3 by 5 1/4, and that was before I did the die cutting on the edges. And then our designer series paper is 2 3/8 by 5 1/4. So we're just going to adhere this to the center of this garden green. And so we'll do that now. And then this one has just a black and white vertical stripe on the back, which could be pretty striking as well, especially if you used it, you know, with those flowers that have a little bit of black in them, and it just kind of pulls that dark shade out. All right, so then I just want to make sure this is straight and it's centered as much as possible. And it looks like it is. All right, so then I'm just going to press this down. And then I'm going to use, yes, Tammy, I'll pull those out in just a second. I'm going to use dimensionals and put this down in the center of my card. But there's so much that you can do with these. I mean, even if, you know, you just wanted to cut rectangles and use these to decorate your rectangles, they would just give it a nice edge. All right. So I don't have the case here because what I always do is once my dies come in and it's part of a bundle, I take them out of the case and I just put them in with the stamps. But the dies are also called Fancy Borders dies. Does that help answer your question? But these are the dies, and it's just one sheet of them. But it has all these different ones. But they're called Fancy Borders dies. All right, so we are going to just adhere this to the center. Whoops, go a little bit over. Here we go. All right, and so then what I did is I used the rectangle dies that I showed you a little while ago, and I cut one in the black, and then I did one in the crushed curry. So we're going to use black ink and stamp in the crushed curry, and we're going to stamp a little hello with a lot of love. So let me grab my Memento black, move that out of the way. So let me just kind of get some ink on here. And then see if I can do this straight. I feel like I'm looking over and above. So I never know what it's going to come out like until it's done. Okay, so then that's all the stamping we are actually doing on this card. So the nice thing is, if you place an order of $35 or more and you get this card kit and you don't have this stamp set, you can always use anything else that you have that you would like to put as your sentiments. You could write happy birthday, thank you. There's so many things you could do. So, all right, so I'm just going to glue this crushed curry to the black, and then we will pop up the black with dimensionals on the card. And we'll tie a bow, throw some embellishments on there, and we will have another beautiful card that didn't take super long to make. You know, one thing I really love about Stampin' Up! Is all of the beautiful papers. And it seems like, you know, sometimes you see them online or you see them in a catalog and you think, oh yeah, that's pretty. But then you get them in and you're like, wow, these colors are just so bright. They just really look nice. Okie doke. So we are going to pop this up a little bit, and I am going to kind of put it over to the right just a little, so that I can let it hang off a little bit. And then I'm going to make another bow with the black and white ribbon. I guess I can move those hearts. I'll do that in a second and get them out of the way so you can see. And then let's kind of pull our ends so it's not quite so big. Whoops. There we go. There we go. All right, get my snips. Do you ever end up with one end longer than the other? That happens to me a lot whenever I do my bows. So I used to like pull them up and try to match them, but that doesn't always work either, at least not for me. So I usually just try to eyeball it. And sometimes I find that depending on how I put them on my card, they can have different, you know, lengths. They look different. So usually what I do is after I put them on here, then I'll trim them. Because a lot of times, especially if I'm going to be mailing this, I don't want my ends to get curled in the mail. So I try to make sure they're not hanging off the edge. So that's usually kind of what I use for my guide to figure out where to put them. So let's grab some of our black embellishments. And we are going to put a few on here. So let's see. Let's do our one right here. And then we'll do, how about a big one right up here? And then we'll do another little one kind of over here on the edge. And then we'll do one more little one maybe over here just to kind of balance it out a little bit. So this is card number 2. So this, I love this saying, a little hello with a lot of love. That's just really pretty. So this is card number 2. All right, our third card uses the stamp set of the, let me grab it, of the Thankful Garden. So we're actually going to stamp this and use our blends to color it. And oh my goodness, it just comes out so pretty. So we're going to do that. So let me get the measurements so I don't tell you something incorrect. So this is 6 3/8 by 5 1/2. So as you can tell, I have already stamped and die cut this just so you wouldn't have to watch me die cut. You will have a piece of basic white in your kit for you to stamp on. If you don't have the dies, you can always fussy cut around them, but I already did the die part on this just so you wouldn't have to wait for me to do that. So we'll go ahead and stamp it, and then we'll pull this out to actually color it. So let me grab our pieces here. So again, your white card base is 6 3/8 by 5 1/2. And then on the inside, you're going to have this piece of designer series paper. And again, this is all part of, this is the back of the paper that we used on the very first card. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to adhere this to the inside. So let's go ahead and glue that down. I just love the colors in this. And I think one of the reasons that I really like it is it has a lot of this blueberry bushel, and I love that color. I just think it's so pretty. Whoops. I think when I first was introduced to Stampin' Up, was it that one? I think it was that one. We had that color, and then it retired. And then whenever they did the color refresh, I guess about 2 years ago, they brought it back. And I was like, yay. So, all right. So then on the outside of your card, you're going to have a piece of garden green, which is, let me make sure I give you the right directions, 2 by 5 3/8, and then you will have a piece of DSP that is little yellow roses, and it is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So we're going to adhere this just like that, and then put this on this little flat part of your card right there. So let's go ahead and put those together. And this is the back of this yellow roses paper. So let's just snag this. I think my glue's getting a little light on me. I might have to grab another one. And then, let's see. And I cut this one to where there was only like 1/8 of an inch between one size versus the other. So that's why the green is 2 inches wide, but the yellow roses is 1 7/8. So that way it gives you just a small border, which I kind of like that. And then we're going to adhere this to here. So let's go ahead and put some glue on this. I may have to grab another glue here because this is kind of driving me crazy. I know it's still got a little bit in there, but I don't know. I don't want to press into the paper. All right, so then let's just adhere this to the outside. Whoops. There we go. Okay, and so next you're going to have a piece of crushed curry that is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then you will have a piece of basic white that is embossed with the exposed brick that is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. So we are going to adhere this together. So let's put that together really fast. There we go. Got a little bit more out. We'll just put this together. And again, this one just has that small edge again, because I just wanted to kind of have the color peek out, but not have so much that it was just super obvious. I'm going to grab another glue. Here we go. Whoops, I think something fell. Right now, my office is a disaster. So that is part of what I would like to get done this weekend, is clean my office because it's really bugging me. All right, so then we're going to glue this onto here. So I just want to make sure I only put glue on this side so that I don't have stuff coming over here. And so we will put, yeah, see, this is coming out a lot stronger now. So then we are just going to kind of line this up. One way I usually try to line this up is I look at the lines in this particular designer series paper is almost like a grid. And so it does have, you know, the lines that are going across. I don't think they're technically straight, but they're close enough to give you an idea to make sure it's on there straight. So we're going to do that. This is the inside of our card, and this piece is 2 3/4 by 4. So all I'm going to do on it is just stamp some of the little hearts, and I'm going to use the crushed curry ink, and it's just a little heart stamp that looks like this. which is kind of fun. And so we're just going to put these in the corner. I'm not really going to put a sentiment on the inside because the outside of our card, the sentiment is going to say just because. And so I really just want to leave plenty of room for someone to write a message. And then we will be able to put this right here. So I'm going to, one of the things I always do when I have a card like this is I like to actually place this kind of like this so that I know it's not going to peek out the sides. And then I will take my adhesive and just put a thin line of adhesive, or it's supposed to be thin. It helps if you're not using a brand new glue bottle. And then I am going to take the back and just literally press it down. And then whenever you open it back up, it's pretty straight. And the nice thing about this multi-purpose glue is it does give you a few minutes to kind of let your glue, before your glue sets, so you can adjust it if you need to. So that's what the inside is going to look like. All right, so now let's just do our big flower, and then we're going to color that. So you will have in that Thankful Garden set this beautiful, see if I can get this where you don't have a glare on it, this beautiful, I don't even know what kind of flower this is. Maybe, I tell you what, if you know what kind it is, you're welcome to put it in the comments, because I don't even want to take a guess, because I know that I probably have no clue what I'm talking about. I love flowers, but we don't have these kind of flowers. You know what? I'm going to lay this down and ink it this way, just so I can make sure I get it inked really good. Sometimes that's a little bit easier than trying to, especially on a stamp that's this large. Okay, so let's take this and put this on your paper and give it a second for the ink to really adhere. Press down a little and then pull it up. And then we have this. So then the nice thing is you can fussy cut this out if you do not have the dies. So that's one of the really nice things about this set. I have already die cut this. So we are just going to use our blends and color this. So let me grab those. We do not have Crushed Curry blends or Garden Green. So I am using Daffodil Delight and Old Olive is what I'm using. So let's go ahead and color these. I tend to do the dark shade first, just because, I don't know, I just like doing it that way. I feel like it, you know, kind of is easier to stand out if I've done it that way. But you can do it however you want. I was actually thinking about this last night when I was working on these cards. You know, my mom she used to do a lot of toll painting, and man, she did some beautiful work. And I think it'd be nice if she was still here and we could do some of this together, because she could probably give me a lot of tips on shading and how to do all that, because I just kind of use the lines that Stampin' Up! Puts and just leave it at that. So, and you can do, you know, as much or as little as you want. I tend to just do one flower at a time because I want to get it blended in really well before I move on to the next. So I will tell you, these blends that I have with the Daffodil Delight, I really need to get some better ones, but I want to show you, I mean, this is going to be, I think you'll be amazed, because even with my blends being kind of old and not in as good a shape as I would like them to be, this still comes out so pretty. And I just love the little squeaking noise. There we go. And one of the things that you can also do too, like if you feel like you have too much color on one of them, is use the color lifter and kind of, you know, lift some of that dark color off. But I'm going to leave it because I kind of like having the different highlights. And then I'm going to go back to the dark and we'll do the other flower. So I am going to color in a little bit more on this part. And we'll do this. And see, the nice thing is when you're doing some of this, you can tell everybody you were just using your, you know, your, what's the word I'm looking for? Like your watercolor technique. And so you didn't worry about staying in the lines if they want to know why some of the lines are colored outside. You can just say, well, I was trying to give you that artistic flair. I try to stay in the lines, but, you know, some days are better than others. All right, let's see. We'll do just a little bit there. Maybe one more here. Tell you what, we'll put a little bit here just to kind of give it a little bit more. One of the things that's really pretty about flowers, if you ever look at them out in the sunlight, is depending on how the sun is shining on them, you get different hues. And so it's kind of nice to think like that too whenever you're coloring these and putting them together. Let's see. And you know, I think it was last week we did a bunch of coloring and we talked about how sometimes these blends tend to bleed. And it's really funny because when I'm using it on the basic white, I don't really notice a lot of bleeding. But on some of the lighter color cardstocks, I will pick up on that sometimes. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as you're coloring close to the edge, is if it's a cardstock that bleeds, you want to give yourself some extra space. All right. Let's see. I think we're almost finished with this, and then we'll do the leaves. They go a little bit faster. And again, I'm going to use the Old Olive blends for the leaves. You know, next week when we're at Onstage, so if you're wondering what Onstage is, it is the annual, I guess you could call it, convention that we have for everyone that's a demonstrator. They don't have to be doing this as a business. We have way more hobby demonstrators than we do ones that make it a business. And so, but it's really fun. We'll get to see the new catalog that's coming out in May. We'll get to see the new in colors, and they always have product there for us to kind of do some things with. They'll give out what they call prize patrol, and it's just super fun. So if you are ever interested in doing something like that, I would love to have you join my team, and then you could go with us. This year, it's actually being held in Raleigh, North Carolina. And so I am flying there on Wednesday, and then I will be there until next Sunday. So that's why my Facebook Live is going to be taped this week, and then I will just schedule it to upload on Friday. But our team, we have about 12 of us going that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we always bring gifts for each other, and they're just little things that we each like hand make. It's not like we don't go out and spend a lot of money or anything like that, but it's just really fun. And it's fun to kind of see what everybody does. Another thing we do once we get there, which is really fun, is people will bring swaps with them. And so we will have like I'll make a bunch of swaps, and then whenever you get there, you just kind of walk around and people swap cards. And then you get ideas from other demos, and just, I don't know, it's just a really fun time. You get to meet some of the people that you follow and you see online. And so it's pretty fun. All right, let's see if I can make this go just a little faster. Some of my lines may look like Monet here in a second because they may be way outside of the line. You're like, yeah, but that's not a Monet. All right, let's see. See, I didn't want to just show you one that was already colored because I think half the fun of some of this is seeing how it gets to the point that it ends up being. And sometimes if somebody just says, oh, here's the magic of TV, and you whip out the one that's already done, you kind of miss out on some of that. But as you can see, one of the things I love about our blends is, like, if you think, oh, this isn't dark enough, all you have to do is come back and color a little more, and now it's a little darker, and it's the same shade. So I really love our blends. They're just super fun to play with, and lots of fun to do things with. And they're beautiful for flowers. And I'm sure we all look all the time and think, oh man, do I really need another flower set? And then we see the paper and it kind of grows on us. And we go, yep, I need it. Let's get it. So, hence the reason my office looks like a mess right now. Okie doke. All right, so there we go. I finally got this done. Thank you for bearing with me. All right, so here we go. So all we're going to do now is we are going to put some dimensionals on this, and then I am just going to put this right here. But isn't that pretty, the way the yellow just kind of pops? I don't know. I just think it's pretty. So I'm going to throw some dimensionals on here. Let's see. And one thing I try to do whenever I'm doing something like this, because I know that part of this might hang over the edge, I try to put my dimensionals more on the inside and not right along the edge so that I don't end up with them hanging off. Because at the end of the day, like this one's still going to have 4 on here. It definitely should hold. You could always add more if you wanted to, but I think this should be fine. So here we go. So we're just going to kind of angle this like this, press it down, and then we are going to take, you will have a piece of crushed curry cardstock, and we are going to stamp the words just because. And so let me grab our black ink, and then we will just trim around this. So I think the piece that you have in your set will be, is that what that is? Yeah, that's right. Is 1 1/8 by 3, but I just made it a little bit bigger so that if for some reason it comes out crooked, you have room to redo it if you want, or you can trim around it, whatever you want to do with that. So we are just going to do that, and then I will just take my paper snips and kind of cut around this and try to cut it straight, which is sometimes easier said than done. And I'm just gonna, just kind of trim straight lines, nothing overly major. So then we will take this, and I'm going to put a dimensional on the right side and then a glue dot on the left so that whenever it overlaps, I think I'm going to use the small mini dimensionals on this. One of the things I really like about the small ones is you can always, put more than one if you need to cover a bigger area. But sometimes with the larger ones, they're just too big for the area that you're looking for. So that's why in my little birthday kit, you're going to get the smaller ones, because then you can always use them. Okay, so then we're just going to kind of put this right here. And again, we're going to tie another bow, and then we will use I cut some of the yellow hearts out with that same die that's the border die. And I cut some of those out of the crushed curry just to have. And we're going to use those on the front in addition to our black embellishments, just to kind of add a little extra something. So let me trim this and move this out of the way. Trim this side. There we go. And then grab a glue dot. Here they are. Sometimes I wonder how I keep my head on, because I'm always looking for something. Okay, and then we're just going to kind of tuck this down here. You can kind of turn it if you want so that it doesn't cover up your words. And then so you will have some of these hearts in your kit. And so I think you'll have 3. For some reason in this one I have 4. I am not sure why, but evidently I just got excited last night and put an extra one in here. So let's see. Let's do one up here, and then we will do another one. Let's see. Just put this. How about kind of over here on the edge? Whoops, if I can get, oh, I don't have a glue dot on here. That would be why it won't stick. Let's try this again. Come on. There you go. You know, sometimes having fingernails is a good thing. And then finally, we'll do our last one. I think I need to flip that one over. Let's see. Yep, that's the right side. I can always tell which side is right because it's smoother than the other side. So I try to make sure I get that one on there. So we're just going to kind of put that one right there. And then we will take our black embellishments again. And let's just do like 3. I don't think we need a lot, just because we've already got quite a bit on there with the little yellow things. But it's just kind of fun to put a couple. And we'll do one more kind of down here. There we go. So this is card number 3. And then on the inside, we have that. And it's just a sweet card to send someone just because you're thinking of them. Or maybe they're going through a rough time. So let me show you all 3 of the cards from today. And I'll move that out of the way along with that. And pull this down so you can see it. But these are the 3 cards that we made today. So if you would like to get a card kit to make these cards, if you want to place an order using this host code by Tuesday, March 11th, I will send you a card kit. It will contain everything you see here, including the ribbon. It will not include the embellishments. If your order is $50 or more, I will give you a full pack of the embellishments. If your order is $60 or more, you can also pick out a celebration item. If for some reason you just go gangbusters over all the new online exclusives and your order is $120, then you are welcome to pick out 2 celebration items that I have. And I will post a photo underneath this live to show you what I do have available. And you can pick that. And in addition to that, if your order is 75 or more, you will get the birthday gift. So again, let me show you that. It will be, and it won't necessarily be red, but it will be one of these little organza bags with some mini Stampin' Dimensionals, mini glue dots, and some multi-purpose glue. So you will get that for an order of 75 or more. So if you have any questions, you can always email me, leave a comment below, and I'll be glad to answer. Just to let you know again, our card club, you can find on the inkycreationsbylinda.com. There are, what's the word I'm looking for? There are links there that you can subscribe if you want to just have it start charging your credit card every month. And then you will get a free $25 gift of your choice at the end of 6 months. Or if you do not want to subscribe, there is also a link there for you to do a one-time purchase only. And that is for the month of March. You need to sign up by the 15th. But that is for these cards that are just super fun. So if you are interested in those, you can get information on Inky Creations by Linda under the monthly card club page. So I hope you have a wonderful day. And next Friday, I will be uploading a video at 5:30. And I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks when I can show you some of our new fun things that we got. And we can talk about on stage and all of that. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye for now.